I guess we'll do it that way.
What's up, my dude?
John, what's up? I don't know what's up. I don't actually know.
What? Come on, what's up?
I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. I don't know what's in or what's out.
You do know this sound, though.
Oh, you know just how to get me back on track.
What's why so morose? You sound morose.
I'm in a bad mood.
Just what the podcast listeners want to hear.
I know.
Lay it on us. What's going on?
They all come back for me being in a bad mood. On a good note, I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that we have more than just the NSA listening to our last episode.
Right.
People stuck it out. They came back.
Or they forgot to unsubscribe.
Well, both, I think. But Teddy Bron, but they downloaded episodes. Teddy Bronson was there. Cody
sent you an email.
He did send me an email. Cody also sent us an email. Cody, shout out to Cody. Got a very nice note from Cody. I'll send it your way. Cody, thanks for being so loyal. Heard from a few other people who don't matter enough to mention on air. And anyway, I'm in a bad mood, John, because, well, we started a little late. Not that it really matters, but we started a little late because my dog rolled in manure, and I had to give him a bath.
What'd you do about that?
Which at 7:45 in the morning is kind of just the last thing I want to do is get a bunch of cow shit on my hands and get my bath covered in cow shit and dog hair.
Yeah, that's
dog
gross.
Ownership is almost the worst thing on the planet, I think.
I once had a sewer pipe problem in this house that I bought, and because I'm trying to fix everything up myself, I sawed through this drain pipe and was manually unclogging a drain pipe, which basically involves your elbow deep into some nasty shit.
One time my brother was living with me, and I think this was probably his fault, Paul. He was living with us at the first house we purchased, and the sewer line from the front of the house to the street exploded.
Oh no.
It was very old. It was old clay pipes. It was an old house. And the house, I think, was built in the 50s, but I think it was built on a lot where the original house had maybe been built in like the early 1900s. And so it was this old ass clay pipe, and some roots had gotten in, and it's a very wet town, Chattanooga. And so, it all added up to a lake of shit in my front yard.
Oh no.
And
it's not the kind of lake you want in your front yard.
No, there are desirable lakes for sure. This was not one of those. And you know how I knew it was shit beyond a shadow of a doubt?
You smelled it.
It smelled it. It smelled of shit. But also, there was part of me that was like, I wonder if maybe, well, no, I knew it was shit. I also knew it was shit though, because, and this is why I blame my brother, because I would always give him a hard time because he likes to floss his teeth. Good for him.
Yeah.
Flossing's apparently very healthy. They say that root canals and other poor dental practices might be part of the reason why we see a rise in like Alzheimer's and stuff, because this bacteria that gets in your mouth. They've known for a long time. Yeah. Apparently dentists are the crooks that we have been portraying them as. I was talking to my dad, and he was like, he has like 4 cracked teeth because he got fillings that were completely unnecessary.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. But anyway, my brother likes to floss. And when I really knew shit had hit the proverbial fan was when I saw floss floating in my front yard. And it's because, and I would always give him a hard time for this, he flushes his floss.
Oh, that's nice.
He doesn't put it in the trash can. He flushes it. You're not supposed to flush floss. It doesn't decompose. It's plastic.
And 10,000 pieces of that just wrapped around a tree root that was growing right through your pipe. Yeah,
exactly. And then we had to spend, I don't know, I think close to $6,000
Whoops.
getting it replaced because we lived on a hill
Mm-hmm.
and the pipe kind of had like a terraced effect to it to get down to the street. And so they had to bring out, when they were fixing it, they brought out the entire plumbing company came. They were like, oh, let's all go learn how to do the most impossible fucking replacement job of all time on the Smallman's house.
Right.
It was so expensive. It was absolutely insane. And it's just not the way you want to spend money.
No.
So I'm still in a bad mood. That was a solid 6 years ago, and I'm still pissed off about it.
Yeah, but you do that kind of stuff because eventually you make money on the house.
No, I know, and we did, and it's fine, and I need to be over it. I'm really just in a bad mood because Charlie got covered in poop, and why else am I in a bad mood? Oh, you know what, John? We were texting about this morning. We might as well just get into this.
What's that?
Well, so Sundance announced their lineup, and it did not include rollers.
Interesting. And you applied.
I did apply. I paid them $100.
What?
To have some junior programmer tell me that I wasn't going to be in. I don't even know why we bothered submitting. The truth is, I knew we weren't going to get in. I submitted a very early draft. The chances of us getting in were so slim.
How many
and
movies,
honestly,
how many applications are there?
Well, you know, I thought this could be. I thought this could be an educational experience for our listeners. Because some of them know how much of an amateur I am, and some of them think I'm a seasoned vet. I think most people fall somewhere in the middle. But I just want you to know that we all put our pants on one leg at a time.
That's
and
true.
We all get the same boilerplate bullshit. I swear every single one of these things is the same. I could read you 10 from different years. The same rejection letters from festivals.
Right.
And I was going to read this one on air.
Oh, excellent.
This came from John Cooper, director of Sundance Film Festival. Dear Isaiah, thank you so much for submitting your. I wish they would just say, "You didn't get in. Bye." They always try to do this. They try to soften the blow, as if it matters, as if I give a fuck that you're sorry.
This came in the mail, or was this an email?
It's an email.
Gotcha. Dear Isaiah,
my $100 got me. I'm gonna. Okay, John. You know, we often. Just kidding. We don't often talk about this, but I like the idea of doing merch. You know, like funny, fun merch.
Yeah.
I think probably one T-shirt that I would start with is, I paid $100 and all I got was this shitty rejection letter, and then print the rejection letter like on the back. It's pretty good.
That's a good idea.
So it says, Dear Isaiah, thank you so much for submitting your film to the 2020 Sundance Film Festival. I swear they copy and paste this from every other festival on the planet. With a record number of projects submitted to us this year, as if I give a shit. But you do. So I guess maybe that's why they include it.
Right.
This is going to blow your mind, John. Do you want to take a guess at the number that I'm about to drop on you?
4,500.
With a record number of projects submitted to this year, 15,100 to be exact.
Wow.
And less than 250 available slots within our program, we had to make many difficult choices throughout the process. Unfortunately, your film did not make it into the festival. This is the part. That's fine. If they ended it there, I would never care.
Right.
But then they say this.
More
the level of quality display. I'm going to read it in the voice that I imagine it being written in. The level of quality displayed on the projects we receive gets higher and higher each year. So this was certainly not an easy decision. Don't patronize me, bro.
What if this is really sincere? This guy spent a few hours crafting this email to you specifically. And you're just ripping him to shreds.
Oh, please.
Keep going.
If there was even a 1% chance of that being the case, I wouldn't even bother reading it.
I just imagine that guy throwing.
Like, I have gotten a couple. Shout out to South by, because I know the people at South by a little bit. I have gotten a couple of more personal rejections from them, but for short films that I've done.
Right.
But no. Anyway, I speak on behalf of our entire programming team when I say that we are incredibly grateful to have the opportunity to view the latest in independent film from the global creative community. We wish you the best of luck with your project going forward and hope to be able to see more of your work in the future. Sincerely, John Cooper, director of Sundance Film Festival. I speak on behalf of our entire filmmaking community when I say that I am incredibly annoyed that you charge me $100 to submit my film when you're getting 15,000 submissions.
That's a lot of dough.
I don't need to pay you $100 to have some junior programmer review my movie. That's what annoys me. Charge me $35. That seems like a reasonable number.
Man, they're pulling in $1.5 million on that.
15 just on submission fees.
What a racket.
If they know, I know. That's why I'm saying this is ridiculous. It's totally a racket. If you go on Film Freeway, shout out to this episode brought to you by Film Freeway, not the people I'm mad at. That's their tagline. Film Freeway, not the people you're going to get mad
Not
at.
mad at us.
That should be their. Don't get mad at us.
We didn't do it.
We're just the middleman. Don't shoot the messenger.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Film Freeway, don't shoot the messenger. That's what they should say. This episode brought to you by Film Freeway. Submission and event management by Film Freeway. I'm just reading the bottom of an email that I just got. Anyway, so the point is that I wish you the best of luck with your project going forward. That's just insincere. And I don't mean like it's mean. I don't mean it's malicious. I just mean it is. If you look up the word insincere in the dictionary, there's probably an example of that email where it says insincere, we wish you the best of luck with your that's not actually taking place.
You don't think he's wishing
I don't mean
you
that
well.
it's
You don't think he's wishing you well.
No, because I don't think he saw the project.
Right.
And yet he is personally wishing me best of luck. And I don't think that's sincere. I think that's the opposite of sincerity.
Yeah.
I think that's patronizing.
Yeah, it's professional, it's a courtesy.
I get that, but I think courtesy can often be how do I say this? Rude.
Well, it depends who it is, man.
Am I being too much right now?
Well, it depends on the situation, right? Like sometimes if you're really curt,
I think I'm just mad because I spent $100 and they should have like a tiered submission process or something. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, if you submit to 10 festivals, you can pay a bunch of money.
Yeah.
As a young filmmaker, try to get your project seen is pretty costly.
It is.
So they announced their lineup. Rollers wasn't in there. You're mad about the tone of the rejection letter, but more importantly, how do you feel about the project?
I'm just mad that it's always the same exact rejection letter. That's what I think I'm annoyed at.
Maybe you start an ancillary business where you do personalized rejection letters for them.
Oh, yeah. See that
you can outsource the sincerity.
That also falls into the category of insincere. Yeah. But it's not a bad idea to make some dough. The problem is that that number, 15,000, that number,
yeah,
implies it carries with it a lot of context about the state of the film industry at this moment.
I mean, it sounds like it's doing fine.
Well, it is, but it is to me indicative of the fact that there is a new, I'm trying not to be too much of a Grinch, but damn. Let me just say this. I think there are probably a lot of people thinking, oh, he's just mad because he didn't get into Sundance. Let's cover that first. Let's get that out of the way. And then we'll talk about the other thing that I really think we should talk about. Okay. The mad about Sundance part. I texted you this morning. I'm not really mad about not getting into Sundance. I will admit, first of all, I kind of knew I wasn't going to get in because of the reasons I already mentioned. There's 15,000 submissions. I know people who are way more established than I am who didn't get in because it's just hard. It's sort of like, again, we've talked about this before. You can get a great score on your SATs and you still might not get into Harvard. It's just the way it goes.
Right.
And there are a lot fewer people getting into Sundance than getting into Harvard. So that's a reality. Let's break down that number. There's 250 things submitted. Well, yeah, including like Viggo Mortensen's directorial debut and,
Ooh,
things like that. So, yeah, big whoop. I didn't get in. I will say this though, because again, I think people know me pretty good by now. We've been talking a lot. There's definitely a little butt hurtness going on, and it's not because I
sure.
think I should have gotten in. It's because rejection's hard. You know,
Right.
that's what the bottom line is. You can ask out the hottest, coolest girl in school knowing she's going to say no, but it still hurts when she does,
Mhm.
even if you know it's coming. And so, am I a little bummed? Sure. Did I think, and here's why, John, because deep down, I know that the movie is technically good enough to be at Sundance.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of movies at Sundance. I've had 2 movies at Sundance. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the movie is technically could fit in well there. Now, here's why it hurts though. It's not because of that. It's because rejection's hard. And because deep down, it would be really cool to go to Sundance with a movie that I directed. It would be really it is the premier domestic, it is the coolest, chicest, most, helpful jumping off point for a movie like this. Now, put a pin in that. Part 2.
Yep.
The other thing that's tricky about that though is I do genuinely think that there are probably other festivals that are a better fit for this movie. Because I think what would be a real bummer is that we go to Sundance and the movie gets buried. That is a thing that can and does happen all the time because there are so many high profile projects that being a standout at a festival like Sundance is very difficult. And I don't think what Rollers needs is to be one of many. I think Rollers deserves and needs to be featured, and I don't think that that was ever a realistic possibility at Sundance because of the types of movies that they are known for premiering. I don't have huge stars. I don't have, I haven't made 16,000 movies before. So anyway, but I just want to get that out there.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I think, it's a realistic look at it. It's like, yeah, I was bummed because I didn't get in, but also here's the reality of the situation. And I think, what else can you ask somebody for? Rejection sucks, period.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And there's just no way around it. And I want to say that first because I do have some legitimate opinions on this that some of which have already been stated, which is that it is a racket. And I want to be on the record saying that, but I want to clear the air so that people know that I'm not just mad that I didn't get in. I know how this fucking process works.
It's a racket you're trying to get into.
It's a racket I'm trying to get into, just like the Ivy League.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta deal with it.
Yep.
If you want to, be a Supreme Court justice's clerk, it sure as hell helps to have gone to an Ivy League law school. That's
Yep.
just the way it
Have you
is.
seen the TV show The Politician or heard about it?
No.
It's somebody told me about it. It's pretty good. It's worth a watch. It's on Netflix. It's about a kid that's trying to become the president, and it starts with him trying to get into Harvard. It's pretty
Wow.
interesting. It's funny. It's kind of
Interesting.
it's a kooky show. Highly recommended.
That's cool. So, okay, now that air is cleared.
On to your grievances.
Well, my grievances, okay, there's two buckets, and I'll let you decide which one we dive into first. But let me lay them out. The first is there is a major racket, and I use that word very intentionally. There's a huge and I think very sinister, and I don't mean sinister in the sense that there is some conspiracy to rip off filmmakers. I think it's opportunistic people, but
Sure.
who are looking for ways to make money. But that doesn't make it good or healthy. There is a racket, and it is not Sundance. Sundance is not the real racket. The real racket is all these other festivals that pop up, not
Right.
because they are being and I want to be clear, there are examples. Chattanooga Film Festival is an example of a light in the darkness in this area. I'm not talking about all of the festivals that you've been to, ex-listener, who you go and you're like, wow, this is really well curated. The people here really care. It's in a place where you don't get to see these films otherwise. Those are not the ones I'm talking about. There's this whole other category of film festival that exists purely to make money on desperate independent filmmakers. They're selling laurels for a price because they have told independent filmmakers that it matters to have 12 festival laurels on your thing. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. If it's not one of the top festivals in the country, one of the top, say, 20 festivals, it doesn't matter, period. They are, and that's if you get in. There are a lot of festivals out there. Now, again, going to a festival
That's cool in itself.
with a movie, it is cool and it is fun and it's a great networking opportunity if it's a festival that someone actually gives a fuck about. But the problem is it's like college where people are like, "Oh, you can't afford or you didn't get into X school. Go to University of Phoenix." They're ripping you off.
Right.
There is not my point being is there's not an accreditation process for film festivals, nor should there be.
Right.
But what you need to be very aware of is that going to these festivals is only worth it if the festival is actually a real festival and not a money grab. And a lot of them are money grabs because most of them don't get 15,000 submissions, but a lot of them get a few thousand. A few thousand times 75 is pretty big money for some Joe Schmo. And, dude, if you look on Film Freeway, for example, if you look at all the film festivals in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
there are like 3 film festivals in Los Angeles worth going to. Maybe I'm going to be really generous. Maybe 10. There are not like 80. And there are probably like 80 film festivals in Los Angeles. Why do you need 80 film festivals in Los Angeles? You can see all of those movies at the other film festivals. The problem is that it's a racket. They're trying to get people to pay money to submit. And I've been to these festivals and they're just the worst. There's no programmer who cares. There's no community of filmmakers who gets together. It's a faceless money grab. And there are these like corporate film festival organizers, these networks of film festivals that go and set up film festivals in different places and they charge you money. And that's what I have a problem with. It's garbage. So that's grievance number 1.
What's grievance number 2, though?
Okay, so grievance number 2 is less of a grievance and more of a cautionary. I don't know if I'm experienced or established or whatever enough to say this yet, but I'm going to say it anyway. And I just want to say that I'm saying it.
It's never stopped us before.
Yeah, exactly. Qualification is way overrated. I don't know how to say this exactly. The number 15,000 is too high. It's too high.
But isn't this, wait a second, I know what you're going to say, but isn't this what filmmakers have long sort of dreamed about? That this world would open up. Like we've talked about it before, but I remember seeing Quentin Tarantino behind the scenes of Pulp Fiction saying, in 5 years, everybody can go out and shoot their own movie with a VHS camera. Isn't that what you want? You want more people being able to do this, as many people as possible.
Yes.
I mean, it makes things harder, but in theory, isn't it better that more people make art than less?
Yes. Okay. I have a two-parter. That is a very good qualification. Because where I was going with that is saying that's probably where I should stop. And you made a very good point. The thing I'm going to qualify that I probably don't need to say is don't go make your feature. A lot of people are like, go make your feature. Don't go make a feature.
Not when I'm trying to get into Sundance.
Not on my year. Stay out of the way. It's kind of like the Democratic primary. If you don't have a chance at winning, get the fuck out of the race.
Right.
And go run in state politics. That's where the real shit happens anyway.
Right. Everybody's trying to make that campaign dough, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And so here's the deal, though. Yeah, they want to write a book. They want to do all this shit. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is don't go make your feature. Go make a halfway decent 5-minute short film first, and then do that 6 or 7 more times. Then maybe make a feature. Okay, because we were talking about this, like The Puffy Chair, all these movies from like the 2000s and going even back to the 90s. Clerks, Slacker, a lot of these credit card movies, right? That started coming up in the 90s when technology became more available. That was a point, I don't know when, let's see when Clerks came out.
I think in the 90s, right?
No, it was probably like 93. 94. Okay, got it. 94. That type of era, or like El Mariachi, you know, which was supposedly made for $10,000, all that kind of stuff. The problem with those narratives, and then going up to the puffy chair. When did the puffy chair come out? 2005. Now, okay, here's the problem with the fact that those are sort of pitched as these success stories, and is that no one wants to hear the hard news, which is that no one wants to watch your movie. That's the hard news. No one wanted to watch 99.999% of the Clerks that were made in 1994. They only wanted to watch Clerks, and that's why Clerks made money. They didn't want to watch the slightly less good Clerks. And the person who made slightly good less Clerks had $36,000 of credit card debt when they were done with it, and a worthless product. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like I owe it to people to say, no one wants to watch your movie. Don't convince your grandma and your brother and 46 other people to give you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
To make a feature that no one wants to watch. Do something way smaller and way smarter and way more intentional and way more doable until you actually feel like you have a shot at making a feature that could possibly break through this glut of 15,000 movies that is getting made. Because the truth is, the technology, and this is what I was going to say earlier, I've been talking to several filmmakers about this. The technology may be there. And yes, I agree. I think the fact that it is possible to make a movie means that we will discover talent that was previously undiscoverable. And I think that's a wonderful, incredible development.
Right.
But what that doesn't mean is that it is suddenly easy to make a movie worth watching. That is false. Because here's the deal. I was talking to Dave Farino, who we had on the show. He made The Fortune Teller with us. And he's the kind of guy who has made very, very, very good short films. The Fortune Teller played some tier 1 genre festivals. Like, we know what we're doing. He knows what he's doing. He still hasn't gone out and made a feature because he knows how hard it is to make a feature that's worth watching. And he hasn't had the opportunity to find the cross section, the intersection of attainable and marketable. And you have a responsibility, if you're going to go through the trouble of making a feature, to at least consider how you're using the resources that are being entrusted to you. And I would consider those resources everyone else's time and everyone else's money. I don't give a shit what you do with your time and money. But when you're making promises to grandma, you have a responsibility, a true legal fiduciary responsibility. This is a real thing. And most people don't get sued over it, but there are people that do, because they don't know what they're doing when they're going out and raising money. Raising money has a lot of connotations to it. It's not the kind of thing you're supposed to do willy-nilly. The SEC does care what you promise people, and they can sue you if you do a bad job of setting up expectations. That is a reality that most people are not aware of.
Hey everybody, it's little Johnny Bear. We had some technical difficulties that were quite beyond our control, and so this episode got cut short. Listen soon for part 2.